You are Locked On Heat Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, let's try this again. What is up, Heat fans? Welcome to your Locked On Heat Postcast. My name is Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, and I just did about 10 minutes to start a show that didn't make it onto YouTube. I don't know why. I heard the open. We did everything to start it the way that it should be done, but nonetheless, we're here now 9 minutes later after doing those 9 minutes, and here we are again. So we went through the intro. We started live, but I guess it isn't showing even on YouTube right now. I'm not sure what is going on here. I hope that we are on live for you. I'm showing that we are, and right now I'm just going to go with it. So I don't know what's going on with the system, but I think we're okay. You're watching Locked On Heat Postcast. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease. You just missed 9 of the best minutes I can give you on this Heat team right now, but hey, we will start it over right now. 106-98, the Heat beat the lowly, and I do mean lowly, Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball. Come on, you don't like the Pistons. You like them almost as little as you like the Knicks, who, by the way, the Knicks on Wednesday. But tonight, we talk about Detroit basketball, which is now all about turning the ball over. The Pistons turned the ball over like crazy. That's one thing. That's the reason why they won 14 games last year. The biggest one, they're actually really good in the paint. They're athletic. They out-rebounded the crap out of Miami tonight on the offensive side. 9 offensive rebounds more for Detroit than Miami. And it really was Miami's pressure defense, the steals, the deflections, the turnovers that won them the game tonight. Some key shooting, very streaky for Miami again with Tyler Herro and Rozier burning those nets down in the second quarter. And then in the third quarter, not so much, just so bad all the way across the board. All right, you're Locked On Heat Postcast. Want to thank you for being here day in and day out. You everydayers know this. We're here with the Dolphins, the Canes, the Marlins, and of course the Heat now with the Postcasts. And my name's Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease at Jim Grease _ Gries at Jim Grease _ on social media. I do a lot of cool things. Check me out. It's a good follow if I don't say so myself. And tonight's episode of Locked On Heat Postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. You guys know how much I love FanDuel. Every time I talk about them, I get all excited, and you can start the season with a huge return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, $5, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. I love these promotions from FanDuel, man. They are absolutely incredible for you. Think about that. A $5 bet, and if you win, you get a $150 bonus, man, on your first one. And then you just roll that, and you just keep moving, and you stay on that roll, and you keep the momentum, which is not only as good as the next day's pitcher because it's not baseball, right? You just keep going on FanDuel. Anyway, the Heat are going. They're above 500 first time this season. They are 2-1. Now 1-1 at home with this win over Detroit. The Pistons now 0-3. Miami was down 2 at the end of the first quarter, 30-28, but they came out playing well on defense. This was the key for them because the Orlando game, and by the way, Orlando tonight beat Indiana at home, and Paolo Banchero had a 50-point, 20-rebound game tonight. So what he did against Miami in the opener with 38 and 17 or whatever it was, no fluke for him. And I said this before the season, if you were listening to me on ESPN radio across the country and around the world, I said, period, point blank, for the whole world to hear. I said it loud and clear for the whole world to hear. And I hope you were one of those people who heard it. I said that the Miami Heat right now, as they step into this season, would be a team that would be much improved, and they'd be a team that would look a lot better heading into this year. But I also told you that Paolo Banchero would be maybe the guy who took the biggest leap this year forward in terms of talent, in terms of numbers, in terms of stepping into that stardom, that next level. He's doing it so far for the Orlando Magic, and there is some magic going on in Orlando for the first time in a long time. Miami shot just 38 of 88, Detroit 35 of 91, but it was the second quarter and the fourth quarter for Miami. The third, not so much. Crazy how you go 36 points in the second quarter, right? Your highest scoring quarter of the season. Then in the third quarter, you score 14, and that's your lowest scoring quarter. of the season. They were up 64-53 at halftime. Deflections and steals all over the place, the defensive intensity. And look, the 9 minutes that you missed that I did before this was just me talking about Miami's intensity. It was me talking about the deflections, the steals, the defensive pressure, and that is how they plan to make up for their lack of height. Bam 6'9" at center, Jimmy 6'7", Jovic is 6'10", the tallest player on the floor for Miami. And then you got the athletic guys, the Herros, the Highsmiths, the Roziers, who had 5 rebounds tonight. The guards have to peel down and get boards for Miami. You're going to have to realize that you're going to concede the rebounding on a lot of nights because you're getting those steals, the deflections. You're athletic like that. You're fast. You're filling those passing lanes. You got the hands and arms everywhere. And that's what's going to happen for Miami this year. So giving up that many offensive rebounds, being out-rebounded by 10 overall, 9 of which was on the offensive glass for Miami. And you know what? That's just the way you gotta play with this lineup, with this team. It's small. The center is not what he or they used to be in the NBA, no doubt. But, the one thing about Miami, you go out and you play great in the second quarter, and Detroit comes out on a 12-2 run to start the third. 1-10 to start, 1-4-10 to start the third from the field for Miami. A Jovic 3 got him off the schneid at 6:57. At the end of 3, it was 79-78 Detroit. And then Miami, after being held to 14 points in the third on 5 for 21 shooting, and Herro and Rozier were the absolute culprits here more than anything. 28 points, by the way, in the first half combined. 2 points in the third quarter. 1 for 11 from the floor and 0 for 7 from 3. But the assists, the steals, the fast break points, and not scoring a lot of points off Detroit turnovers, which is something they're going to have to clean up as well. But as the third quarter went on, you could see Miami playing a little bit better. They were down 1 at the end of the quarter. Look, it was just one of those things, right? You're down 1 after being up 9. So you did not play well in the third. The offense wasn't there. But then in the fourth quarter, you come out and, hey, 12-0 run to make it 80-79. Jimmy Butler starts taking over the possessions. The ball's running through him. He's assisting. He's scoring. A couple of plays that didn't work out. But the way that it worked out for Miami is that it's inconsistency with the shooting. And that's bad for Tyler and for Rozier. They're going to need to be a lot more consistent with their shooting if Miami's going to have a chance to be an elite team. And I do think they'll have that chance. They have a new offense. Rozier, full season. Big upgrade over Kyle Lowry from last year. And you feel like that'll be all right. Jimmy Butler getting to the line consistently, 28-plus free throws the last couple of games. Had the layup with 45 seconds left to close out the game. And, 10 for 16 in the first half for Herro and Rozier, 1 for 14 in the third. Tyler hit a 3 at 6:43, though, to give him a little cushion. Rozier hit another one at 5:24. So those guys hit those shots in the moments, you know what I'm saying, when they needed to late in the game. But for the most part tonight, they just weren't there for Miami. And, the Heat did outscore Detroit 28-19 in the fourth quarter. We're going to hit the box scores on the other side of the first break. We'll give you all the stats, player stats, team stats as well. And then in the final segment, we'll give you our player of the game, the turning point, and the final score graphic, all those things we have for you here on the Locked On Podcast Network. I'll remind you to catch Locked On Heat every day. The guys do a great job. They are locked in and locked on your Miami Heat. And I have not mentioned the night that it was in the MIA, and you see it in the rundown. And I'm going to tell a little story right now for the last couple of minutes of this segment. I'm going to talk to you about a guy who was drafted by the Miami Heat by the name of Dwayne Wade, the only Miami Heat player who was drafted by the organization who went on to the Hall of Fame. I'll never forget it. Number 5 pick in 2003. I was there when Dwayne Wade reported for his first day of training camp at FAU, at Florida Atlantic University. I'm working for Live 85 with Jeff DeForest, me and D for the sports department there. And we were at every game. And I had covered the Heat for years, the Zoe and Timmy Heat from 95 right on through as an intern on Sunday Night Sports Wrap, working at Waxy 790, QAM, all those stations over the years at those games. 06, the Shaqquisition. I was on the steps reporting live. Shaq and D-Wade win the championship. Wade takes over. They're down 14 at halftime in Game 3 after going down 2-0 to Dallas. Shaq says, little fella, it's your team. D-Wade takes over. A historic 3.5-game stretch that we might never see again in the NBA Finals in 2006, won their first championship for Miami, and then the Heatles. It was LeBron. It was Bosh, but it was Wade who put it all together. He stayed. He took less money. He brought his boys in to win those other 2 titles in 4 years, 4 trips to the finals. And, of course, those 3 rings for D-Wade. He gets the statue unveiled last night in front of the Kaseya Center. You got Pat Riley Court already. Now you got the Wade statue. Hey, it's been a long time since they've won. It's been a long time, but you know what I'm saying? They made the finals in the pandemic year. They made the finals a couple of years ago as well. And, man, I'll say this about your Miami Heat. They are a team that's accustomed to winning, and they have that culture. So I'm excited to see what the future holds. But Dwayne Wade statue unveiled. They name a street after him tonight in Miami, and rightly so, man. I'll never forget the first day he came into practice at FAU. I was there. We formed a bond. We have the same birthday, January 17th. We're 10 years apart, and I'm not married to Gabrielle Union. But besides those 2 things, I'm also not a basketball Hall of Famer. I don't have gold medals or NBA championships. I don't have hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm not in Hollywood making it big. I don't have my own winery, but we have the same birthday. Our sons were born right around the same time as well. They used to kick it and shoot some balls together. My son uses that as a claim to fame that D-Wade actually rebounded a ball that he shot, and he's made shots off of feeds from D-Wade. So that's something when my son was a little kid that you can never take away. We got videos of it. And so I'm happy about that, and I'm so happy for Dwayne. I'm so happy for his family. I'm so happy for UD to be there for all of it and for Pat Riley. But let's not make these memories the crux of the franchise. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it building. Erik Spoelstra is a great coach, man. I remember him as an intern in the film room. When I was an intern on Sunday Night Sports Wrap as a kid in the 90s, and Spo was in the video room. I got Heat stories for days. I've been there a long time, but nice to see D-Wade flash, get his statue. When he was in his prime, there was nobody better. He should have an MVP. The year that the statue was made from, when he said, "This is my house," and he stole the ball and hit that shot from the 3, but that should have been his MVP year. He should have had one MVP season. He didn't, but he should have. He was a huge part of the Redeem team, a huge part of all 3 of the Heat rings. No better NBA Finals performance than 06 from D-Wade. I'm over the break, but when we reconvene on the other side, we being you and me, I'm going to step aside and stay here at the same time and let you know about a valued partner of ours. But on the other side, we're going to give you the numbers, the box score, and the team stats. Break it down a little bit further for you. Miami 106, Detroit 98. You're 2-1 Miami, 1-1 on the home floor with those dreaded, hated New York stinking Knicks coming in on Wednesday, and then another game on Saturday as well. Locked On Heat Postcast rolling on. Un momento, por favor. Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease at JimGrease_GRIES at JimGrease_ on social media. And I get to tell you now about my friends at FanDuel. I don't even want to tell you how well I'm doing this year on FanDuel, by the way. Thank you, Miami Hurricanes. If you bet the Canes in the over, straight up with the over in every game, you're 8-0 now on those parlays. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Cam. Thank you, everybody at the University of Miami. It's been a great year for me so far on FanDuel. And you can tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and you get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com today. And, of course, they have all kinds of great props and great things going on for the NBA as well. Get into that Heat Knicks action on Wednesday night. Can't wait to be here for the postcast after this game. Excuse me, as we continue live with your Locked On Heat postcast. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease, and I'm just going to throw this up there right now. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, because I have to. I literally have to. Because we have to. You know what I'm saying? And if this thing, well, they just will not upload. There we go. Okay, it takes like 3 or 4 tries to upload anything in this system right now on my computer while I'm on live. But I will show you this right now. How about that? How about that, Miami? How about that, Heat fans? How about that, basketball fans? The #3 two-guard of all time. And don't give me the Allen Iverson. Don't give me the Jerry West. Don't give me those guys, all right? I didn't see Jerry West. I got nothing but respect for the logo. God rest his soul. Jerry West, an icon in this game. Allen Iverson, all heart. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, whoever you want to throw in there. Mitch Richmond, if you're an old head like me. OG, as I prefer to be called. No. If you are paying attention in my lifetime, okay? In my lifetime, and Jerry West, not in my lifetime. I'll give you that. I will give and Dr. J was small forward, for those of you thinking Dr. J. No, the number 3 two-guard of all time is number 3, Dwayne Wade, okay? The rings, 3 of them, the gold medals in the Olympics, the unbelievable quickness, explosiveness, the performance in the 06 NBA Finals. Those other guys don't have those things on their resume. D. Wade does. How great was Dwayne Wade? He was so great that when LeBron came here in 2011, he deferred to Dwayne. Yeah, he did. He did. Says a lot about LeBron. Can't put him on my GOAT list because of it, but he did. You ever defer to anybody on any team anywhere with a basketball, you're not the GOAT. Michael Jordan never would have deferred. You ever see the video of the Bengal tiger going into the zoo? There's different types of tigers, right? There's regular tigers, and there's a big Bengal tiger. The Bengal tiger's like twice the size of the regular tigers. Well, the Bengal tiger walks into that yard, and there's all these big cats in the yard. And there's one standing at the gate like, hey, I'm on the other side of the gate, but I'm protecting my turf. These are my ladies. This is my queen. These are my kids. You ain't coming in here and being in charge until that gate opened. When the Bengal tiger walked in and the other 3 of them ran away, and that one's just standing there. And what did he do? He pooped and ran away and laid down on his back like this and said, don't hurt me. Do not hurt me. Okay? Like this. Do not hurt me. So when the alpha comes into the gym, everybody else defers. D-Wade was the alpha. He had to publicly tell the world this is LeBron's team, and privately, we're going to make this your team. He had to do that for LeBron to take over. Now, you could say LeBron's being nice, and he's playing. This isn't a school playground, man. And besides, if it were, you assert your dominance. Otherwise, you're not dominant, and it's not your team, and you could never be a GOAT, which, by the way, it's greatest of all time. The GOAT is not a great animal at all for anything. GOATs do nothing. Literally nothing. They were sacrificed throughout time for everything, and they've never done anything. So a GOAT can't hurt anything. It can't beat anything in a fight. I don't know why everybody in the world would call you the GOAT if you're great at something, because that's not what GOATs do. But I understand GOAT, greatest of all time. We just need to find a new logo for that. Put a goat's head on a big old kangaroo that loves to fight and box and kill stuff. You know what I mean? Because a goat's not hurting anybody. But number 2, obviously, has got to be Kobe Bryant, and number 1's Michael. Number 1's always Michael, and number 2's Kobe. You can never argue 1. You can never argue 2. Everybody wants to argue 3 with AI and Jerry West, but you cannot argue Dwayne Wade's career numbers, cannot argue his titles, you cannot argue his influence, his impact. The only Miami Heat player drafted by the organization to make it to the Hall of Fame, and that's Dwayne Wade. His legacy is, he stood on business. His legacy is cemented in stone. His legacy is cemented in stone with a statue on top of that cement. His legacy is statued now. He's got a street. He's got a street in Miami now, Dwayne Wade. Look at that, man. Look at that. Dwayne Wade Boulevard. Man, I love you, D-Wade. What a great dude. I took my son to his last game, and man, we went to so many games over the years. My son Jake and I, seeing D-Wade, the flash. Remember when he had the little lightning bolt on the seat of his car driving to the NBA Finals? We can fanboy out on D-Wade, can't we? The Heat are 2-1, back-to-back wins against 2 of the worst teams ever assembled, Charlotte and Detroit. But nonetheless, 2 wins. They're NBA games. They're NBA players. It's early in the season. Every game means more than every game means the same. People love to say, hey, late in the season, it matters more. Once you get after Christmas, these games are more intense. Why? Every game matters. Every win matters. Every loss matters. And everything is all about that for Miami right now. And they won this game tonight. Nice job. And look, I'm telling you right now, we're going to hit the box score before this break. Look at the Pistons right now. Hardaway Jr. had 20. I got to tell you about my boy Tim Hardaway Jr. I've already talked about my Dwayne Wade stories. One of the coolest little features I ever did, and I was doing my own radio show right out of college in the 90s, 790, Waxy 790, before it was The Ticket, which I was also on The Ticket and QAM, but 790 The Ticket in Miami before it was that. It was, and it was only LM8. It was leased by Joel Feinberg. We never owned the station, and he went belly up, I guess. Who knows? Levitard and Sedano and all those guys left. But my point is, when it was Waxy 790 and I was doing the Zone Sports Show every night, 11 to midnight on that station, when I was right out of college, I had my little Marantz portable tape recorder, cover the Heat, cover the Panthers, cover the Marlins, cover the Dolphins, every single game. The U, of course, goes without saying. Shout out to the U, undefeated, 8-0, Cam Ward going, number 5 in the country this week. Top 5, baby. Top 5 for the Canes. But all those games and all those nights at Miami Arena, the bowels of Miami Arena, when there were bullets flying around in that area, there were no Idlewild or Arts District or whatever the heck we have now in Miami, all this fanciness that you had to go over to the beach for that. Downtown Miami was a war zone when I moved there in 1994 and almost took an apartment at Arena Towers right next to the old Miami Arena that looked nice, the views of Biscayne Bay, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing bullet holes in the windows. It was bulletproof glass. I swear to God, this is true. And the leasing agent was like, yeah, you probably don't want to live here, man. It is not the best place for you. And I was like, yo, I'm good. No. So I moved back down to Coconut Grove, where I should have finished my degree at the U. Shout out to the U. But night in and night out, the Heat were struggling. Then Pat Riley comes to town. Pat Riley Court. Shout out to the greatest winner of all time, Pat Riley. The Winner Within, still my favorite book. Pat Riley deserves to have all the accolades and then some. The coach of the Showtime Lakers comes to Miami. Are you kidding me? After the success with the Knicks, he faxes in his resignation to Checkitz and Grunfeld, and he comes to run the Miami Heat. He's been here ever since, killing it. He's been here killing it. He brought Alonzo Mourning here. He brought Tim Hardaway, Dan Marley, Jamal Mashburn, all those teams against the Knicks, against the Bulls. The only thing that kept them from a title was the Jordan Bulls, I believe. I don't know if they would have beaten Utah, but the Jordan Bulls were beating everybody and keeping everybody from titles. So night in and night out, I'm covering Tim Hardaway. And Tim Hardaway was as great a point guard as you'll ever see. He was unbelievable for the Miami Heat with Alonzo Mourning. They had great runs and great things together. I remember the 97 playoffs, right? They play Orlando on the road in the first round. I go up in a convoy of Heat fans, and I notice that there's like a lot of real nice cars driving around me. Big old Range Rover passes me. I see Yolanda Hardaway, Timmy's wife, and I see all these wives, Cindy Austin at the time, Ike Austin's wife, and a bunch of them. And they were like 5, 6 wives in the one range. You know what I'm saying? On the way up, they were balling out, all wearing their Versace glasses, all their kids with them and whatnot. Well, we get to the arena. I take out my Marantz, and I have to do a little feature. And they all say their names. They're like Yolanda Hardaway, Cindy Austin, all the wives. And they say, go Heat. Well, guess who's sitting there? And I'm holding them. I got to hold them while we were doing this because she couldn't do them both at the same time. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Little did I know he would score 20 points in a quarter in the NBA Finals eventually and have 23 pointers in a series. Tim Hardaway Jr., Little Timmy Jr., I was holding him on my lap, and unbelievable to see what he's doing now. He played tonight, had 20 points for Detroit, 24 for Cade Cunningham, and 18 for Ivy. The rebounds, 10 for Harris and 11 for Duren. For Miami, look, I mean, it was Jimmy with 23 points. He had a +8 on the night, 7 assists, 5 steals, 4 rebounds. For the Butler, 12 and 10 for Bam, 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 Bam. Adebayo, I know that was obnoxious, but I love doing it. Bam, bam, bam. I'm a Flintstones kid. What can I say? The vitamins, the show, the whole 9. Anyway, not anymore. I used to take the vitamins growing up, so you might know what's wrong with me now. Anyway, 20 points for Rozier, 19 for Tyler Herro, 3 for 12 and 5 for 12. Well, got that backwards. 3 for 12 Tyler, 5 for 12 Rozier, 7 for 20, 7 for 16 from the floor. Jacques Jr. had 12 off the bench, and Bam, I mentioned, Bam, had 12. Jovic had 6. By the way, as the Heat won 106-98. Real quick on the team stats, and I will hit those team stats on the other side. You're watching your Locked On Heat postcast. Jim Grease, Call me Grease. 106-98, GRIES, at Jim Grease _ on social media. Don't forget to check out Locked On Heat every day. They have a newsletter now, too. Check them all out because day in, day out, you everydayers know. We cover the Miami teams like nobody else, with Alex Donald with the Canes, with Kyle Krabs with the Dolphins, with the Heat guys, and the Marlins with Peter as well, and all the postcasts. So we have the postcast Saturday for the Canes, postcasts with the Dolphins on Sunday, and then right here with the Heat. Tonight, Wednesday night, and Saturday, we're right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, the team stats, the player of the game, the turning point, and the final score graphic, all to come. Plus, we look at those dreaded, awful, terrible, stinking, rotten, lousy New York Knicks. On the other side, Locked On Podcast Network, Locked On Heat Postcast. You know what it is. And there we go. What time is it? A que hora usted? What time is it, you? It is game time. That's right. Game time is, wow. I mean, what else can I say about Game Time? Proud sponsor of the Locked On Podcast Network. I love watching NBA basketball live. I love hockey live. I love NFL football live, college football live. Sports are just better live, right? Even UFC, boxing, you know what I'm saying? Live is the way to go. And Game Time takes so much of the crap that used to drive you nuts out of the equation, right? I'm 52 years old. You see all this gray hair here. Oh, ask me how many times I waited in line to get tickets I had bought over the phone that they were holding for me in an envelope, and how many times that went wrong. Ask me about that. Ask me how many times I stood outside, freezing to death, roasting to death, getting rained on, getting snowed on, just to go see the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Mets, the Pirates, the Phillies. All these teams I grew up in the vicinity of that my dad used to take me on roadies all the time. Baltimore, first when Camden Yards opened. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. What I did not have was Game Time. I did not have an app that I could look in and just get the views from every seat that I wanted to purchase. I did not have an app that would give me an incredible amount of feeling of protection, knowing that I'd get credit 110% of the difference if I found tickets cheaper anywhere else. Plus, my purchase being covered by the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Are you kidding me? You get the seat fees up front, no surprises on the back end, the panoramic view before you buy. And how about Game Time picks? This is such a huge feature for Game Time. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. You enter the parameters, what you want, what you don't want. Be bougie, be snooty, be snobby, be American, all you want, or don't be. It's up to you. And they will procure it for you. They will curate it for you so that you only see what you want and you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. All those things and more at Game Time. What time is it? The clock's ticking. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Ake ora. What time is it? Game Time on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ on social media. Check me out. I have a lot of stuff that I offer there as well and share a lot of content from the shows here. Thank you very much, for all the numbers on the Locked On Canes postcast. We are blowing that thing up along with Alex Dono and Locked On Canes. We're a team. We're playing ball together all year long, and you can see it in the numbers. Alex, just a great teammate and a great partner there. So every day, the best Canes content, Locked On Canes. You don't want to miss that. And then after the games, like, say, for example, Duke this Saturday, and 4 more this season to win before the conference championship, yes, we're here with the postcast. Dolphins 2-5, atrocious loss to the Cardinals. Tua here, Tua gone, doesn't matter. This offense has been bad, and when they're not bad, their coaches are calling plays that you don't understand, like a draw play on 2nd and 4 from the 6-yard line with 24 seconds left. You have one timeout that you eventually burn and force kick field goal. Yeah, it's been a bad year for the Miami Dolphins right now, but a good start for the Heat and a good win tonight. Let's take a look at some of the team stats for the Miami Heat tonight against the Pistons. The Heat 38 out of 88 from the floor, 35 of 91 for Detroit. Miami outshoots Detroit 43.2 to 38.5. Three-pointers, 31.9 for Miami, 36.8 for Detroit. The Heat made just 15 of 47 threes. That's god-awful. So the ice-cold shooting, especially from three, at least tonight they took 15 more than they've been averaging. That's a good start. Just got to knock them down. They were ice-cold in the third. If those numbers were even respectable on any level, the numbers would have been so much better. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about right there with the Miami Heat, the shooting, the free throws, you know what I mean? 15 to 20 for Miami, 14 to 17 for Detroit. The rebounds, Detroit out-rebounded Miami 54 to 44, 19 to 10 on the offensive glass. That's what's got to change. You're getting deflections, you're getting steals, you're trying to make up for your lack of height and your lack of rebounding acumen so far. But man, it's been working. You know, if you're being fair and you're comparing and you're saying that the steals and the deflections kind of, cancel out the lack of offensive or defensive rebounding, you can say that, but in reality, if they clean up the rebounding a little bit to go with the steals, oh, baby. And the fact that the Pistons like my son's JV team in high school could have 10 steals against them, the way that they turn the ball over. They're atrocious. They do not have any skills, ball handling. I mean, they turn the ball over all the time. So it's nothing to write home about. 24 to 14, Miami in assists, 14 to 6 in steals. 6-3, Detroit wins the block battle. Turnovers, 17, Detroit, 12, Miami. The points off turnovers, 21 to 13, Detroit with the edge. So Miami only had 13 points off 12 Detroit turnovers. So 13 points off 12 turnovers, not shooting the ball well from three, and getting badly out-rebounded on the offensive glass were the weaknesses for Miami tonight. They overcame it. We told you how with the defensive effort, the steals, the deflections, and just enough of Jimmy Butler with Tyler and Rozier hitting big shots down the stretch. And the largest lead for Miami, 13 for Detroit. It was 5. All right, before we get on out of here, 106-98, the final. Miami beats the Pistons. Let's give you our graphics as we love to do. First things first, Grease, have to show you the final score. And we didn't get this graphic fixed yet, and I'm waiting on this from our production department. But that 06 is 106. If I put the 1 in there, it destroys the whole thing. So just pretend there's a 1 there. It's 106-98. They beat the Detroit Pistons on the night. Yeah, Dwayne Wade Boulevard. He got the statue. He got the street. He better have, since Pat Riley put Michael Jordan's number in the rafters, and he'll probably put LeBron's up there one day too. Pat Riley does what he wants. I don't question it. No one questions it. Certain people in life just do what they want, and you just shut up and you accept it. That's Pat Riley. All right, there you go. All right, how about this? How about the moment of the game when the game turned? There it is. The Heat go on a 12-0 run to start the fourth quarter after embarrassingly just building another. They could have built Wade another statue out of brick, or they could have surrounded his with bricks the way they were shooting in the second quarter, or the third quarter, rather. The second quarter, they had their highest scoring quarter of the season with 36 points, 14 in the third. And how often do you see that? It averages out to 25. You got to come down. It's game of streaks, game of runs. Even the best Heat teams in the playoffs and whatnot, they were down big at times, up big at times. It's a game of streaks in the NBA, and you're only as hot as you're shooting. And that's what Miami's got to deal with this year, and it's going to be a thing for them all the way across the board. So a 12-0 run to start the fourth quarter, and a great job by Jimmy Butler in that stretch. Jacques had a bucket in there, and there you have it. They just kind of took advantage of that situation and bounced out to a lead they would never relinquish. Okay, so the star of the actual game, because we have 2 stars of the night. Star of the game, Jimmy Butler, 21 points, but so much more than that. 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 steals. The big layup to close it out with 45 seconds left. A couple of assists in the fourth quarter on big buckets that put Miami and gave him a little bit of breathing room. Jimmy B is still the guy on this team. He's still the closer on this team. No matter what you want to say about him, when it's regular season Jimmy B and he's missing games and whatnot, he's still the guy for this Heat team. And the truest star of the night, always the biggest star in the Miami Heativerse, in my opinion, the guy who came in 2003 as the number 5 pick, same birthday as me. Our careers kind of paralleled one another in Miami at that point, and always took the time to do the interviews with me, always took the time to take the pictures with my kids and whatnot. To Dwayne Wade, congratulations on a life so far well spent. And the star of the night, the Heat icon, the legend. I can't believe we're sitting here 6 years after his career ended. I can't believe it's 18 years after that 06 title run almost. I can't believe it's been so long since the Heatles. Time flies, man, and you have to appreciate people when you can. But the only Miami Heat player drafted by the organization to be inducted, enshrined in Springfield, Massachusetts, in the Basketball Hall of Fame, Dwayne Wade. And, career, a basketball life, just incredible with D. Wade, and he is our star of the night. Without a doubt, on a night when Miami puts the Pistons away, wins it 106-98. They're 2-1 on the season. You got the Knicks on Wednesday. How about that? What more? I mean, like Jay-Z said, what more can I say? Dun, 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 dun. New York coming to town. 7:30 p.m. at the Kaseya Center, and the Knicks playing the Heat on Pat Riley Court, walking in past Dwayne Wade's statue, which they probably won't do, but just, for effect, I said it. And then at Washington on Saturday, talk about some bad teams to start the year. Charlotte, Detroit, Washington, 3 out of 4 in that stretch. Orlando looking really good. Banchero and Franz Wagner in that front court. And then obviously Detroit turnovers. Yeah, I know. I wonder if that obnoxious PA announcer is still doing Detroit basketball. Anyway, that's a long time ago. Heat Pistons during that era with Billups and Rip and Sheed and Ben and all those guys taking on Flash and Shaq and Peyton and Walker, and the Heat lost to him in 05, beat him in 06, beat the Mavs after that to win the title. And now Wade has the statue. Wade has a street in downtown Miami that is his house forever, with Pat Riley Court in Dwayne Wade's house. Shows you the importance of a coach versus a player, right? There you go. Or even an icon like Pat Riley. That's all there is, Heat fans. There is no more. Your Locked On Heat postcast right here on your Monday night. 2-1 Miami, 2-1 the win over Detroit. Look, a win is a win is a win, especially in the NBA. You just got to keep stacking them up, baby, especially those home wins. You want to get to 30 home wins this year if you're Miami, and then you'll be very happy because they're a good road team. They'll be middle of the road in the East, won't have to worry about the play-in, and can worry and focus on making another finals run. Wednesday night, Knicks, 7:30 tip. We're here right after with your Locked On Heat postcast. 2-1 Miami, 2-1. Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease at Jim Grease _ Gries at Jim Grease _ on social media. Don't forget to check out Locked On Heat day in and day out. Canes and, of course, the Dolphins right now, and then the postcast Saturday and Sunday this week. Canes against Duke. Dolphins playing this week as well in a tough divisional game on the road at Buffalo. And, oh, Lord, that one has ugly written all over it. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Miami. We are